Hey y'all, it's me, your host LV, checking in again this week with another episode of my podcast, Medusa Side, where every week we'll hear the unheard side of healing from the perspective of someone who is always deemed the bad guy. I can't start this episode off without addressing the elephant in the room, no pun intended, which is this is my first time recording, like actually video recording myself doing my podcast. So now you can get Medusa Side on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or you can watch it, which I'm recording right now, on YouTube. So I'm so excited to bring y'all new content this year and kind of diversify, how I present this podcast to you all. So just jumping into this week's episode, we're diving into letting go. It's a new year. It's time to get rid of old clothes, old habits, old niggas. So per usual, I hope that you all enjoy and that you get an opportunity to learn a thing or two. I started reading all about love by Bell Hooks, and well, it has me looking at relationships very differently. Not just romantic or platonic relationship shit, not even like the ones that I have with my family or involve other people. Honestly, I've really been looking at the one that I have with myself and how that shapes the way I navigate relationships with other people and how I move throughout the world. In the book, she says, and I'm going to look at the quote so I don't get it wrong. She says, "We can find love, but not until we let go of grief of love lost long ago." I want y'all to try saying that 3 times fast. And well, I think there's something really profound in that. I sat down and I asked myself, how much of the past am I holding on to? How much of that is preventing me from truly embracing the future and what it brings? If I'm holding on to the past, I leave no room for love in my life. I leave no room for love, for freedom, for happiness, if that space is already occupied by hurt. So I really decided I wanted to make room. I think I had this realization around like late November, probably mid to late November. I already had like those rumblings after Halloween where I was like, ooh, something needs to change. Something needs to give. What is it? I don't need to change my space or anything like that. Like I've done that already. There's some internal work here that I'm not addressing. I wanted to let go of trauma. I wanted to let go of grudges, heartbreaks, past mistakes, past ideals, principles, and ways that have left no room for new shit in my life. So I sat down and I asked myself, who am I outside of these things? Is my entire identity wrapped up in my past version of myself, and my traumas, and my habits, and my past ideals? Like, let's be real, y'all. Like, that me does not exist anymore. That you does not exist anymore. The whole concept of this podcast was to self-examine Medusa, the woman who was both a villain and a victim. To understand that the suffering I endured is not justification for the pain that I inflict onto others. To ponder the possibility that Medusa may not look in the mirror out of fear of being stoned, but rather she's scared to face her own reflection. So I really focused on letting go and what that meant for me and what that meant for this new year. Letting go and making room for new in 2023. This is mentally and physically. This is having the courage to be ready for the new and accept that it's time to change and actually welcoming that change. Y'all, I even cut my hair. Do y'all see this? Well, of course, if you listening, you not seeing it. But if you on the video right now, y'all see this? For those who don't know, I've had locks for the last 3 years and I love them. I fought cutting off my hair for so long because I was so stuck on the process I made with growing my hair, which was damn near the middle of my back. My hair right now is a short cropped look, probably like two to 3 inches side and back, and like 4 inches at the top, like barely a taper. Um, and I fought with that decision until I realized that it was okay to end the journey. My hair was restricting me in different aspects of my life, physically, like the certain outfits I could wear, styles, makeup, because like there's an aesthetic with locks. Like, I'm gonna be honest, there was an aesthetic with locks. And that affected me mentally because I wasn't feeling confident in myself because yes, I loved my hair, but it wasn't who I felt like anymore. And I knew like my hair wasn't my entire identity. I knew it was time to accept that the party was over. It was time to cut that shit off. So I cut my locks off and I cut my hair real short. Real short. The shortest it's ever been. And y'all, I feel grown and I feel sexy. Like, I'm embracing my little auntie cut for real. And I'm realizing that no matter how I look, or how I dress, or how I wear my hair, somebody will always have something to say. But at the end of the day, I'm going to do whatever makes me feel beautiful. I'm learning how to be feminine in a new way. And I'm confirming for myself that it's not on you, but in you. And I feel confident in the way I look in a way that I've never, ever felt before. Another quote from the book that resonated with me was, "It's far easier to talk about loss than about love." Today's society is never enough. Shout out to Brene Brown. If you have not read Daring Greatly or Dare to Lead yet, I highly recommend you go to Barnes & Noble's, Books A Millions, wherever you go and get your books, and pick up a copy. Living in that never enough, that scarcity mindset, makes you think that there's not enough love in this world going around. So we desperately cling to the love we experienced in the past, holding on to, drowning under, suffering in what may resemble love. I ask myself, what do you do when all you've ever wanted isn't enough? And I found that I was so scared of pain, of rejection and disappointment, that I would forego the chance or the possibility of love and joy. I've been focusing more on introspection, which is looking inwards and trusting my intuition, versus reflecting, looking at the past and learning from it. I got into tarot card readings lately as well, and I know some of y'all are going to be like, that's the devil. But it's been a really great way for me to build confidence and trusting my intuition and exploring different hobbies that I've been interested in, which I find is a really, really great way to learn about yourself, and have more fun, like spending time with yourself. I feel more focused at work, and I'm finding my place at my job finally. And corporate baddie life is so much more fun when you know what the fuck you're doing and you can like actually actively participate in it. I wanted to elevate my life in all aspects I've been neglecting with my work, my content, my nonprofit, and getting back into YouTube, making my archives page. It's on Instagram. And just overall being more intentional and serious about what I put out into the world and the content that I create. Just makes me feel more inspired. It feels great to just be inspired and excited to put out content and film and record. And I'm not trying to craft the perfect video, but genuinely just finding pleasure in creating and sharing with everyone. It's unlike anything I've ever really felt before. And I've also been more inclined to explore art again. Not just painting and drawing, but finding that spark again in reading and writing. Whether that's a script for my podcast, which if you're watching the video, I am like reading off the script right now to keep me on track. Finding space and room in my life for volunteering, giving back, and doing work in my nonprofit. My vision board for 2023 has been completed, and I love looking at it. I can't help but become and feel and grow excited when I see it. And I get excited at the idea of embracing new and accepting change in the new year. And I'm welcoming that and I'm inviting others to share in it. Okay, so here comes everyone's favorite part of the show, which is our Venom section. I'm going to give you a little bit of Venom, aka wise words, tips, advice, suggestions, recommendations, and just things that I am implementing in my life in order to improve myself and shut off some of that villainous persona. So the first thing is creating a vision board, but I went in a little more and I created a vision board like bingo card. I saw it on TikTok, and doing it is a really great way of keeping track of, what your actual New Year's resolutions are, what are the things that you want to see happen, and marking those off as they happen. And y'all, it's the second week of January and I'm already like close to marking off 3 things for this year. And I'm just like, it's a great way to visualize what you're trying to do in life. The second thing is some personal mantras I've been following. One is done is better than good. So I am a perfectionist and I'm trying to let go of perfectionism because it can be so overwhelming when you're faced with a task and you want it to be perfect and you want it to look good. You want your boss's approval. You want 10K likes or 1.2 million likes and follows and all that. But if you like it, if you are okay with where you are and you just accept that, put it out, do it, submit it, whatever. Because there's no such thing as perfection. And that's truly what I'm embracing and truly what I'm learning. And then lastly, just investing in myself and investing in those changes I want to make. So whether that's makeup, like I got rid of all my old makeup, bought some new makeup, wardrobe, haven't done that yet, but that's definitely on the to-do list, is to, change my wardrobe, change my style. I'm no longer in college. Some things got to look different. Some things got to be better. And then trips, like I've always said I wanted to do these things. Now is the time to invest in that and make sure that I'm able to do the things I wanted to do in life. I have that freedom, I have that option, I have that power and control. So that is all that I have for you all today. But as always, I want to know what you all think. What do you think about letting go this year? What are some of your New Year's resolutions, some goals and things that you want to accomplish? Feel free to share them with me. And if you'd like them to also be shared on the show, feel free to DM me on Medusa Side Podcast on Instagram, and I'll share those on that next episode. So once again, thank you all for tuning in with me, your host LV, who is signing off.